In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Studio Bike Pro 22 from Proform, a bike that I've wanted to get my hands on for a while now because I suspected this would be the sweet spot between quality and value when it comes to connected home cycling. Well, I've been using it for a few months now, and in this review, I'm going to tell you the parts I like, more importantly, the parts I don't like. And also, one thing that this bike does that I wasn't expecting it to be that good at, but it completely exceeded my expectations. By the end of this video, you'll know if this is the right bike for you. Let's get cracking. Let's start with building this bike. I've built lots of bikes and lots of treadmills over the last few years, and I normally say if you can build an IKEA wardrobe, then you can build one of these pieces of equipment. In this case, I would caveat that because it did get a little bit fiddly, and as you can probably see here, you can't see any cables on show with this bike, and the reason being is they're all internally routed in the framework. And that's where it can get a little bit fiddly just to get all the connections made and the bike built. So I would allow 2 hours to unbox this bike, get all the packaging sorted and get it built and up and running, and I think you shouldn't have any trouble. One of the most important features when it comes to connected home cycling is your touch points. And these are your handlebars, your pedals, and also your seat. The handlebars adjust for height, and the coating on them is really good as well, even if your hands do get sweaty. But what I was really impressed with are the amount of places to put your hands. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different options when it comes to handholds. And that makes it really easy to find a comfortable position when you're cycling. Next are the pedals. Now I've taken the pedals off this bike and I'll explain why in a moment, but you've got a cage, a fairly kind of average standard cage on one side, and then you've got a metal pedal on the other side. And the good thing about this is if you've got multiple users in your household, unlike bikes where you have clipping pedals, you haven't got to buy several pairs of cycling shoes, which can get quite expensive. But if, like me, you prefer to ride in clipping cycle shoes, then any pedal will fit on here, and you can have your choice of fitment, either something like SPD or Look Delta. The last touch point on this bike is the seat, and as you can see, they've gone for quite a sporty looking saddle. And that's where the fun ends, basically, because this is a really uncomfortable seat. Normally, when you get on a bike, a spin bike, one or two things go through your mind. Never, this is a comfortable seat. Generally, well, this is going to take a little bit of getting used to. However, with this seat, as soon as I got on it, I thought no, and I bought myself a seat cover. And I mean, try it, see how you get on. If not, these are like $20, a quality one. It hooks over the front here, clips around the back, and then it Velcros on, and it's nice and sturdy. $20, save yourself a lot of discomfort. The next thing I want to talk about is the Drivetrain, and this is another positive surprise here because it's a lovely smooth pedal stroke all the way around, and under heavy resistance it's still really smooth, especially at that push down at 12 o'clock. Sometimes with cheaper magnetic bikes you can just get like a stamping feeling as you're going down, but this is smooth, 360 degrees of the rotation. It's actually quite difficult to show you this, but the alignment of my hip, my knee, and also my feet are perfectly in line, which makes this a very comfortable place to be for longer rides. One area I was expecting a little bit more from though is the max resistance. So it has a levels between 1 and 24, and what I found was at 24 I could actually still pedal, whereas some bikes you can't. Now I couldn't pedal for very long, and I wouldn't like to stay there for very long. So I guess what I'm saying is if you're a beginner or an intermediate, then the Drivetrain and the resistance levels here will be excellent. If you're an advanced rider, I think you should be fine as well. Even on the hardest levels, I can't pedal for very long, and I've recently finished a ride where it's around the coast of Ireland, and the last ride I've been putting off because it was 80 minutes long. And that hour and 20 minutes at a higher level, I just wouldn't have been able to do it. So if you're like an athlete, then you may find that that max resistance isn't quite enough for you. But for 95% of users, it's plenty. And at this point, I just want to say, if you're thinking about buying a Studio 22 bike from Proform, I'll put a link in the description. That will take you to the best price on their website, And it also helps support the channel and enables me to make more videos like this one. So thank you very much. Let's move on to the thing that absolutely blew my mind with this bike. And this is this 22-inch tablet, which is absolutely stunning. As you can see, if you watch my finger, this screen is just so responsive. It's just a joy to use. And I actually thought they might put the previous generation like S22i screen on these bikes. I don't know what screen this is, but let me show you some stuff that I found out. So let's bring in the S22i. So this is a flagship bike from Drivetrain, and it's quite often around twice the price as the Proform one. And I'm going to make a whole video about the comparisons here, so don't get too excited. But I just want to show you this. So if I show you this iFit logo in here, that's actually behind the screen. If I show you the Proform logo, I don't know how hard it is to hear, but listen. That's a sticker, and the Drivetrain one is a sticker as well. Now I appreciate this has got this surround on it, but if you look at the screens, and I'm absolutely not saying that these are the same monitors, I'm absolutely not saying that. What I am saying is that when I'm using them and when I'm looking at them, I can't tell the difference. And if I come over here to the Drivetrain 2450 treadmill, which is an amazing treadmill by the way, you can see it's got this surround, but I don't know if you can see in this light that it is a monitor that sits in the surround. There's the corner of the monitor. Same situation with that being a button. But what do you think? And I'm absolutely not saying that they're the same monitor. However, when I'm using this monitor, the one on the S22i or the one on the Proform, I genuinely cannot tell the difference between any of them. Next thing I want to talk about is the iFit software, which I've been using for a few years now and absolutely love it. Prior to using Drivetrain and Proform equipment, I used to really like riding a Peloton. And I did over 400 rides on Peloton, and they've got two studios, one in the US, one in New York, one in London. And after those 400 rides, I kind of had enough. I'm a huge Peloton fan. I do like Peloton, but I just kind of had enough of just those same environments. With iFit, they do have studio classes. They're not as good as Pelotons, but where they really shine is with these outdoor workouts. And they're just superb. And I've done probably another 400 rides since I've switched to using iFit software on Drivetrain and Proform equipment. And I'm as into it now as I was, say, 2 or 3 years ago. And it's because of this. They're not so much, they're instructor-led classes, but the instructor isn't so much the star of the workout. The star of the workout is their coaching. They're all expert coaches and the environments that you get to ride in. So this is road riding, for example, in Yellowstone Park, a place I'd love to go. The next time you get on the bike, you might be mountain biking in Australia, you might be gravel riding in Iceland, or this, one of my favorite series, is riding the coast of Ireland, which is such a great ride and the scenery is just amazing. And the next thing I really like about this iFit software, which runs on the Studio 22, is that it's kind of multi-platform. So everything you see in here, I won't give you a tour, but I've got 2 bikes and 2 treads. One bike is from Proform, a bike from Drivetrain, a treadmill from Drivetrain as well. And they all run the same software. So one membership covers all of your devices. So you might have a rowing machine from Proform, a bike from Proform, and a rowing machine from Drivetrain. Just one subscription covers them all. And Drivetrain are really keenly priced as well. This is one of my, I should have mentioned this a second ago, this is one of my favorite rides. This is a theme ride and it's a Halloween ride, and I know it's not Halloween. But in this ride you're being chased by zombies. It's just absolutely brilliant, and it is my favorite ride of all time. So with the iFit membership, you can pay for it monthly. When you get your bike, you'll be given a month's free subscription, and then it will charge you around $40 a month for your subscription after that. That isn't the way that I would do it, or you could start that way, but look out for the annual sales. I'm in the UK. I've recently bought a 2-year membership, so 2 years iFit subscription for £417, which is less than the cost of 1 year I paid for my Peloton membership, which was over £500 a year. In addition to that, if you're a single user, you can buy a single user's membership, which is less than $200 if you're in the US. So there's lots of options for getting the iFit software onto your Proform bike at a really, really good price. So as you can probably tell, I'm a fan of the iFit workout content and also this bike, apart from the build and also the hard seat. I think it hits that sweet spot of value and quality. If the S22i is excellent and expensive, this bike is certainly very, very good and at a much better price point. It does lack the features of being able to go up and downhill. It doesn't go up and down as the terrain changes on the ride. But if that's not something you've had before, I thought I'd really miss it. But after a few rides, I just kind of forgot about it. And the auto resistance on here, so as the terrain changes, it will get harder to pedal if they're going uphill and easier to pedal if they're going downhill. It really does add to that workout experience. As mentioned, if you're thinking about buying the Studio Cycle 22 from Proform, I'll put a link in the description which will take you to the best price on Proform's site and also help support the channel. And if you want to know exactly how fiddly this bike is to build, then just watch this video here. Until next time, see you soon.